Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest expansion-packed episode of the Switch It Up Show. I am your host today, Seth Trav, joined as always by my friend Glenn.
And the dog, apparently.
And the dog in the background barking for God knows what reason. It must be because of the weather going on outside. Ladies and gentlemen, that crazy noise means that we've probably just got to let the beat ride. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to kick things off with what is probably the biggest title we've ever been able to review, and it's Little Town Hero from the folks over at Game Freak who make the Pokemon games. It is available October 17th, 2019, $24.99 when you purchase it digitally. Got any ideas, Hero? The story is set in an isolated village on the edge of the world. The only gate leading outside is heavily guarded by a castle, and the villagers are not allowed to leave. Most of the villagers don't give it a thought, and happily go on with their everyday lives. One day, a monster appears in the village, shocking everyone. Until then, no one knew such creatures existed. The protagonist is able to fight it using a mysterious red stone he found in the coal mines. In the course of his defense in the village, he gradually unravels secrets of how the stones and the monsters came to be. Unlike most RPGs, there is no need to fight weak monsters repeatedly to level grind in Little Town Hero. Instead, you will need to have a good strategy to fight each boss monster one-on-one. Will the protagonist live the adventure he craves and escape the humdrum village life? A challenging battle system which relies heavily on coming up with new ideas and strategies. Compact story progression designed with the busy gamer in mind. Soundtrack by Toby Fox, composer of the background music for Undertale. So, you'd think this game is amazing, just hearing that it's an RPG and it's from the people who made Pokemon. And parts of it kind of are, but overall, this entire game really feels like it is just the intro mission for any other RPG. Just stretched out entirely over the course of, I don't know, I think it took me about 20 hours to beat this thing. It always sort of feels like maybe it's going to get more exciting and you're going to get to do more and see more things. But when they call it Little Town Hero, they mean you stay in your little town. And it kind of feels that way. They described it as humdrum, and the characters really feel that way. They're not really developed, and the lore isn't really explained upon. A lot of the game revolves around you having to find, like, a secret present to give a girl, and then they just give you a little bit of backstory on the rules of, like, why you can't ask the girl directly what she wants and stuff like that. So yeah, the overall story isn't that... It's just not that fun, and the characters aren't really developed, which you know, I would have expected them to resonate a lot more, being that it's, you know, we love the Pokemon so much. However, this does not do that. The music is great, sounds great. Load times can get really, really rough. I've also seen online a bunch of different reviewers complaining about the game actually crashing on them. The game didn't crash on me, amazingly. There were a few times where I thought it might. It doesn't seem like it should struggle as much as it does. The battles are pretty okay. The system takes a while to get used to it. The entire battle system that they have, it's a lot of... it's like extra steps, you know? I feel like it would have been a lot more fun if you just had it as a traditional RPG, but... It's a unique spin on classic RPG elements, and, you know, I commend them for that. After you get the hang of it, it is pretty good. I feel like the difficulty does vary wildly, though. You'll have some things with your, like, rival character. He's green, you're red. and he'll challenge you a lot just for like basic bits of information. So he doesn't ever really put up much of a fight, though. Which, you know, again, that's a little weird. And then you fight a boss like a minute later, and it's, you know, crazy difficult. You'll die a bunch. Really got to do some strategy here. So, you know, there is some depth to this game, but not enough to make it something you need to run out and play. So because of all of that, I am going to give Little Town Hero a 3 out of 5.
Oh man, Mr. Trap, you know, I know you were super excited for this one. I gotta say,
I really was.
And I mean, hey, but you know what? I'm gonna keep unfortunately, I feel like I'm gonna keep the mood of mediocrity going with my game, and that's Habroxia, Habroxia. This is available over in the Nintendo eShop for the low price. We'll go with one low, singular low price of $7.99. Save the galaxy in this classic shoot-'em-up game. Blast your way through a myriad of extraterrestrial incursions in this arcade-style scrolling shooter. Pilot the ship Habroxia through 15 levels featuring intense boss fights, rescue missions, shifting perspectives, and untold surprises. Customize your ship to enhance your abilities, unlock 3 endless side modes, and save the galaxy from a series of sinister invaders. It features 15 campaign levels, 3 distinct firing patterns, a persistent ship upgrade system, over 10 unique boss fights, 50 different ways of 50 different enemy types with multiple iterations. Sounds like more than 50. Horizontal and vertical levels, and 3 endless side modes featuring distinct gameplay. This came out on September the 26th, and it only takes up 62 megabytes of space. So if your Switch card is starting to run out of room, this is a good one to kind of squeeze in that last bit of storage space. Squeeze it in. I see you guys doing that little pinch with your fingers. Yeah, squeeze this space in. But you know what? Do you need to squeeze in the time to play Habroxia? I don't know. It's a good question. I'm going to try my best to provide you with an answer. Now, this is a side-scrolling. They do say you have a vertical option as well, which is cool. But for the most part, it's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Play a lot of these shoot-'em-ups on the Switch because, you know, they're nice, usually pretty quick and not a lot going on to them here, and that continues to be the case with Habroxia. This game very much looks like if you grew up with the NES, this game kind of looks like Life Force, if you guys remember that one at all. But basically, you have a spaceship. You're going through space. You're shooting up all these different things. Enemies are coming at you. You can upgrade your ship as time goes by. But to be honest with you, the enemies really aren't that difficult to fight. They pretty much die no matter what you shoot at them. Obviously, as you get more powerful weapons, they die a little bit easier. But really, the most important are like the hardest bosses or the hardest enemies in this game are like walls. Like the hit detection for if you run into something is brutal. If you just so much as graze something, you're dead. Like, it's over. So like it's very picky about that. But that being said, if you like retro shoot 'em up games, you might want to check this one out. I'm a little disappointed in the music, especially since they nailed the retro like aesthetic of shoot 'em up so well. It looks like you're playing a game on the Nintendo. So if that's your type of thing, I think it's cool. But there are other shooter games I feel like that are in this price point or maybe slightly under it that are better. Just because this one seems so run of the mill. It's nothing amazing, but you know they didn't make any like horrible errors. But the problem is this genre on the Switch is pretty well populated. So if you're in this, you know, in the market for a side-scrolling shooter, I just don't know if Habroxia is going to do it. The fact that it's a little picky about hit detection in terms of you hitting into things, and that the music really quite isn't there, and that there's really no like cool like twist to it. You know, it's pretty much just a straightforward retro shooter. I just feel like you might be able to do a little bit better for your money. That being said, I've recently got an arcade stick for the Nintendo Switch, and let me tell you, if you don't have an arcade stick and you play any of these games, like you're missing out. It's a completely different experience, and it does make the game, all of these type of games, way more fun.
Who's it by? Is it a Mad Catz?
No. I got the Retro Duo one, like the Bluetooth one. Although I just recently returned it because it kept unpairing because it's Bluetooth, it's wireless. So I returned it. I'm going to exchange it for another one. I'll let you guys know how the new one goes. But when it did work, it was super cool. And like the game is way more fun. It feels way more like an arcade experience, and the graphics lend to that. But that being said, I don't know. Habroxia, I'm a little put off by it, especially for $7.99. You can do better in the Nintendo eShop. That's why I'm going to give Habroxia also. I'm going to echo your reflection, Mr. Trav. This is a 3 out of 5. Nothing horrible, nothing to write home about either. Nothing out of this world for this space shooter, let me tell you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got one that took us into the depths of space, and another one that kept us grounded in a small town, humdrum lifestyle. Both of them gave us very so-so feelings. Let us know what you think. Let us know if any of that stuff was boring. I'm at Seth Trav. He's at From the Crib Together. We are at the Pre-Cast. And we want to remind you to always switch it up.